Hello, home learners. Welcome back to Mr. Donald's channel, Home Learning Heroes. Because even if you're at home, you can still learn like a hero. Today we're going to look at a big book, and I'd like for you to read along with me. We can still learn together, from your home to my home. So, today I've chosen a story called Green Earth Project Week, and I would like you to read along with me. Now we're going to read it 2 times. The first time we'll go slow, we'll look at the words, and understand what the story is about. The second time we read it, we're going to read for fluency. So we're going to read it faster with more energy, the way a good story should be told. So if you can follow along, you'll see a little red dot on your screen. That's going to show you where I'm reading, and you can read along with me. Here we go. Green Earth Project Week. Good. And then we have the author and the illustrator. Author has the big A, Joan Stone. And the illustrator has the big I, Molly Ng. All right, there's our title page, Green Earth Project Week. Let's begin. Last week, our class started a Green Earth Project. Mr. Lowe put us into groups. Rose, Betty, and Joe were in my group. Already you can see the orientation. Do you remember what the orientation is? It's the who, the when, and the where, and it's usually in the beginning. So we have our who. Let's look in our text. Where are the who for my story? Rose, Betty, and Joe. And Mr. Lowe, of course. Where are they? I think they must be at school. And when? Well, if they're at school, it's probably in the day. So there's our orientation. Let's go on. On Monday, we watched a film about pollution. Pollution is a good word. Pollution is the dirt, the things that we put in our environment. When we make something, usually we have dirty things left over, and those can get thrown out into our environment, and it makes it dirty and not nice to live. If we burn something, we can put smoke into the air, which is not nice to breathe. If we make something like plastic and we're finished, we throw it away. And sometimes it ends up in the oceans or on the land, and that's not good either. So they're looking at pollution. And in the picture, you can see a lot of garbage, rubbish for pollution. Let's read on. Mr. Lowe told us to build a machine to clean up rubbish. It's a great idea. First, we found some books about pollution. We drew a plan of our machine. Joe helped, but he talked a lot. Do you know which one of these children is Joe? It says here, Joe helped, but he talked a lot. Now, I can see this boy over here. He's talking a lot in the picture. That must be Joe. Next, we started to build our machine. Joe helped, but he put the plug in the wrong hole. Oh, I don't think Joe is a very good helper. Bang! There was a lot of smoke. Mr. Lowe was surprised. Surprise is a great word to describe someone's feelings. Look at Mr. Lowe's face, and there was a big bang. He is surprised. I think they're all surprised. After that, Betty got a big cone, 2 big bowls, and some cans. Rose got a huge box, and I got a lot of other things. Joe helped, but he dropped the cans. Crash! Mr. Lowe was surprised. Joe is not a good helper. On Friday, we painted our machine shiny gold. Shiny is a great describing word. It's when something has lots of light coming off of it. Shiny. It glowed. Joe helped, but he fell in the paint. Joe glowed too. Look at, he is so dirty. Joe. Ooh, this one has a top and a bottom. Let's start at the top first. We called our machine Polly the Depollutinator. Oh, that's a great word. Well, we learned that pollution is the dirt, the dirty things that we put in our environment. Depollute is the D in front, and that means to take away. So it's to remove the pollution. And a nator is sometimes we use that to talk about like a robot or machine. So depollutinator is a machine that takes away pollution. Let's read on. We gave Polly a huge bag of rubbish. She picked it up. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk. Clang and clunk, clang and clunk. Polly took the awful junk. I think there's some rhyming words in that. It sounded like a song. Can you find the two words that have the same ending sound? Is it clang and clunk or clunk and junk? Yep, clunk, junk. Those sound the same. They have the same ending sounds. We call those rhyming words. And that's why it sounded like a song. Polly ran around in circles. Out came a tiny bag of rubbish. We were amazed. Amazed is another great feeling word to describe how someone is feeling. Look at this girl right here. She is amazed. Oh, on the top again, we'll start at the beginning. Wow! We gave Polly another huge bag of rubbish. And then we have our little rhyming song. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk. Clang and clunk, clang and clunk. Polly took the awful junk. Do you remember the two rhyming words? Clunk, junk. Polly ran around in circles. Out came another tiny bag of rubbish. We ran to get more rubbish. Joe helped, but he had rubbish all over him. Remember, Joe had sticky, shiny gold paint on him, and now he's picking up rubbish, and it's sticking to him. Uh-oh, look at Polly. What is she looking at? I want you to make a prediction. I want you to think, what will happen next? What does Polly like to do? What is Joe covered with? Let's see if your prediction is correct. Let's read. Polly looked for more rubbish. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk. She picked up Joe. Did you say Polly was going to eat Joe? You're right. Oh no! Whenever you see oh no, you know it's a problem. Let's look in the picture. Can you find the problem? Look at Joe. He's tiny. Polly took Joe just like the rubbish, but out came a tiny Joe. Oh no. How do you think Mr. Lowe feels? Surprised. Mr. Lowe talked to the class. Polly was a wonderful machine. She could save the earth. But we had to make Joe big again. We were excited, but worried about Joe. Why are they worried about Joe? Oh, he's still little. What are they going to do about Joe? How would you feel if you were little? We started on a new machine. And I can see they're doing the same thing. They're going to draw their plans, and then they can start to build. What do you think this new machine will do? Here are the content words and high-frequency words. I want you to put the video on pause now and go down each list. I want to see if you can read all the words. Circle any that you don't know. Okay, that's our first read. Now, let's go back to the beginning and we're going to read it again. This time, we're going to read for fluency, which means we're going to read it faster with our ups and our downs, and we're going to put more energy into it, so it's a good story. Now you can follow along with me, or you can practice on your own. I'm not going to use the little red dot anymore. Ready? Green Earth Project Week. Last week, our class started a Green Earth project. Mr. Lowe put us into groups. Rose, Betty, and Joe were in my group. On Monday, we watched a film about pollution. Mr. Lowe told us to build a machine to clean up rubbish. First, we found some books about pollution. We drew a plan of our machine. Joe helped, but he talked a lot. Next, we started to build our machine. Joe helped, but he put the plug in the wrong hole. Bang! There was a lot of smoke. Mr. Lowe was surprised. After that, Betty got a big cone, 2 big bowls, and some cans. Rose got a huge box, and I got a lot of other things. Joe helped, but he dropped the cans. Crash! Mr. Lowe was surprised. On Friday, we painted our machine shiny gold. It glowed. Joe helped, but he fell in the paint. Joe glowed too. We called our machine Polly the Depollutinator. We gave Polly a huge bag of rubbish. She picked it up. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk. Clang and clunk, clang and clunk. Polly took the awful junk. Polly ran around in circles. Out came a tiny bag of rubbish. We were amazed. Wow! We gave Polly another huge bag of rubbish. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk, clang and clunk, clang and clunk. Polly took the awful junk. Polly ran around in circles. Out came another tiny bag of rubbish. We ran to get more rubbish. Joe helped, but he had rubbish all over him. Polly looked for more rubbish. Polly went clang, Polly went clunk. She picked up Joe. Oh no! Mr. Lowe talked to the class. Polly was a wonderful machine. She could save the earth. But we had to make Joe big again. We were excited, but worried about Joe. We started a new machine. All right, well done, guys. Now, before we finish, I would like to go back and remember what is it that we read. We're going to start with 3 questions called the orientation. Now, you know that. It's the who is in the story, the when does it happen, and the where does it happen. Orientation, and it's usually in the beginning of the story. So the who, I remember Mr. Lowe is their teacher, and Joe wasn't a good helper. And there were 2 other children. Do you remember their names? You can go back and look. When does it happen? Maybe during a school day, so probably in the daytime, but it's also over the week. Remember, they have different days that they're doing different parts. Where does it happen is our final question. Where is in a classroom, I think. Next, we're going to look at the events. What happens in the story? There can be many of these. So, events. They get a task from Mr. Lowe, their teacher, talking about pollution, and they need to make a machine to take away the pollution. They read books, they make a drawing, and they build it. But what is the problem? Every story has a problem. I know there's a big problem. The machine eats Joe, and then he's very tiny. He's a little Joe, and that's a big problem for everyone. How does the story end? Is called the resolution. And that is the ending of a story. Maybe the problem is solved. Maybe it's not. So how does the story end? Remember, they were excited but worried. What were they excited about? I think their new machine works really well and can help save the earth. But Joe was still tiny, so they had to make a new machine. Now, it doesn't tell us what that new machine will do, but I think it's going to make Joe big again. All right, boys and girls, that's all we have for today. Thank you very much, and come join me again for another big book. I want you to go back through now and read this on your own and practice. And then next time we see each other, you can read to me. Goodbye for now.